Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, The Real Super Sam. Today is another Forgotten Spider-Man Rogues video and I hope you enjoy. The Puma is another great Forgotten Spider-Man rogue that isn't in much today, but he has great stories and is a pretty unique character. Puma is Thomas Fireheart, a rich entrepreneur who has super secret powers to transform into a living Puma. Thomas Fireheart was the result of 10 generations worth of genetic engineering performed by the Kisani Native American tribe. Fireheart can transform into Puma, a half-mountain lion being with senses far more accurate than that of a normal human. He is the traditional protector of his New Mexican tribe, although Fireheart himself often questions his traditional rituals that his uncle has. He can go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man when the situation calls for it, and most of the times it is a bad situation Puma's put in where he has to fight the wall crawler. Get ready for an adventure where we look at this rogue, the Puma. Puma first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man issues 256 and 257. The first time we see Puma, he is hunting for exercise against giant wildlife pumas. After that, we learn Puma is Thomas Fireheart, a CEO of Fireheart Enterprises, making his civilian identity well known. Today, Puma has been hired by the Rose to kill Spider-Man. Spider-Man was in a relationship with the Black Cat at this time, and she just got her bad luck powers by the Kingpin, and that makes Puma's job harder, as well as Spider-Man being in his symbiote suit at the time. There's a moment Puma tracks him down to Peter's apartment, so he gets MJ out of there fast as his suit crawls onto him and he beats Puma there. After the Kingpin learns of what the Rose has done trying to get Spider-Man killed, he makes Rose call the contract off with Puma, and he stops hunting Spider-Man, seemingly relieved to stop his fight. His next storyline was in Secret Wars 2, Amazing Spider-Man 293, Spectacular Spider-Man 111, and Amazing Spider-Man 274. In the story, the Puma's Native American tribute are warning of a powerful universal presence he must destroy. To do so, Thomas will get the help of Spider-Man. Fireheart will pay Spider-Man at least $5,000 to say he'll help him with this being, and Peter Parker's like, whoa, I do not kill. And also, the guy Puma's after is the Beyonder. There's a moment Puma almost kills a guy, the wrong man, because he thinks he is the Beyonder in disguise, but realizes the man is innocent. When Puma comes face to face with the Beyonder, the being just transports him to Japan. Anyway, in Spectacular 111, the Puma is going to gather the power he needs to destroy him. Puma becomes super powerful and thinks he can kill Beyonder now, and Beyonder dares him to try. When he does though, he shrinks from the giant you see him become on the cover, then stands with his head down in shame because the Puma doubted his action to murder the Beyonder. His new powers left him. The next part is just Puma with his uncle fearing of the Beyonder's power and what will happen next. He was in the Spectacular Spider-Man Annual 7. In this story, the Puma is told he has acted irresponsibly. Spider-Man helped him and he did not properly thank him. So Fireheart, on Peter and Mary Jane's honeymoon, offers Peter Parker a job to work for him using his science knowledge. But his way to test Peter Parker backfires on him and Peter refuses. There, they agree to leave each other alone for good. The end. Until his return in Web of Spider-Man issue 50. Spider-Man has been framed for robbery, and the Puma is one of the many anti-heroes and villains in Spider-Man's world who reads this. The two fight, but Spider-Man just leaves, leaving behind a mobile device the Puma uses to track down Silver Sable. This causes the two to fight each other for misunderstandings. This happens to a lot of characters, but for Puma, he leaves, saying he has a new debt to pay Spider-Man for. Next, Puma was in The Avengers, issue 304. When the mutant powers of Charles Little Sky, a kinman of Fireheart's, and the man little known as Portal, first manifested, Fireheart tried to help his fellow tribesmen better understand them. He rejects help, and Puma follows him to Ellis Island to the Avengers. Knowing of his crimes and seeing him chase a guy, they attack Puma. Portal's powers accidentally return the UFOs to Earth. Puma and the Avengers team up to stop them, then Puma flees. Next came the Spectacular Spider-Man issue 154. The Puma is back in town, and Spider-Man is looking into it to maybe help him, but the Puma has a weird code to Spidey, and Puma attacks him. In the end of the issue, Puma escapes Spider-Man after being in a big fight. He was in Web of Spider-Man issue 55 next. To pay off his debts to Spider-Man, Thomas Fireheart decides to buy the Daily Bugle from J. Jonah Jameson and publish more truthful stories of the Wallcrawler. During the acts of vengeance, Titania is sent to fight Spider-Man. She goes to the Daily Bugle for attention, and Fireheart transforms into Puma to fight her. That's basically, he doesn't even really help much here. His next appearance was in Spectacular Spider-Man issue 161. Thomas Fireheart promotes Joe Robertson to president and publisher of the Daily Bugle. The second Hobgoblin is after Joe Robertson now, and Mary Jane convinces Puma to protect him, so there is a cool looking fight between Hobgoblin and Puma. Spider-Man thinks Puma's debt to him is paid off, but it is not, even after the fight. Puma returned as a member of the Outlaws and to face the Avengers because of one of their old enemies, the Space Phantom, so the teams fight each other and work things out in the end. Not really much to say there. But next, Puma was in the Spectacular Spider-Man issues 171 to 172. These comics actually remind me a bit of Kraven's Last Hunt. Puma is willing to give the Daily Bugle back to J. Jonah Jameson for just $1 if he agrees to print an obituary of either him or Spider-Man. To finish this debt Puma has to Spider-Man, the two will have a battle to the death. And they do. Puma is pulling no punches, and Spider-Man is stronger, faster, and almost hangs Puma with his webbing. It all ends with Puma realizing he was wrong about his honor and stops the fight, questioning what he is. He was then in Spectacular Spider-Man issues 191 to 193 called Eye of the Puma. Again, these issues remind me of the famous storyline with Kraven the Hunter. Thomas Fireheart deep down still dislikes Spider-Man and hates being in his debt, eventually led to renewed hostiles between Parker and Fireheart, overseen by the mysterious character called the Black Crow, leaving Fireheart broken as a man and acting fully like the Puma. Puma goes after a man who wants to basically become a leader like him. Puma breaks into his apartment and is about to murder him in cold blood. Spider-Man and him have a huge fight, the greatest one they've ever had. And at the very end, the police unleash their bullets on Puma. He falls off a building, already questioning what he has become, regretting a lot, and apparently will die as his death. But Puma returned in Amazing Spider-Man 395 and Spectacular Spider-Man 218. Puma was nursed back to health by the character named Nocturne, but now as just a wild animal Puma who can't even talk. Fireheart returns to normal, and Spider-Man decides to give him a second chance. After that, the Puma was in the video game Spider-Man 2 on PC. Yeah, one of the worst superhero games ever. He is just a boss chase and fight. Then Puma was in Sensational Spider-Man Volume 2, Issue 27. It is shown here that Puma and the Black Cat are together in a relationship and fighting villains, specifically, I think minions of Stegron the Dinosaur Man. He was in Issue 34 next. Puma and the Black Cat are tracking Rhino after he sent Spider-Man into the hospital. Puma just tags along here, but is drawn cool. He was a small member of MODOK's 11 in the story there. And his last appearance to date was in the storyline Spider-Man Hunted, where Kraven captured all animal-themed Marvel characters to have people hunt them. Well, actually, surprise, Puma was in the Spider-Man 2017 cartoon. I guess that was his real last thing to date. He was part of Silver Sable's Wild Pack. There we go. Things, if interested, you should know about the Forgotten Spider-Man rogue, the Puma. And one thing I am thinking while making this Puma video, he reminds me a lot of Spectacular Spider-Man's version of Kraven after he was mutated. Maybe that was even the creator's intention, but you never know. Some issues I really like Puma in, and some I just enjoy because of his design and powers. The ones I really like him in were during Secret Wars 2. It showed him as a fantastic Marvel Comics character. With that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.